Hi guys, welcome in again. Better Off Dead here on a Friday. A Pick 'em All Friday has become Pick Most of Them Friday, as I missed a few of these first pitches. So some games already in progress, even these first couple of games in progress, because I blew the first couple of takes of this video. But these are quality over quantity, just for fun, not formal picks unless otherwise noted. I've probably spent 1 minute of research for each pick, so sort of don't do this. But here goes. From the top, it is the Yankees at the Orioles. That is game one. I think I'm backing the Orioles in this one at something like plus 135. And this has a red asterisk by it. There's quite a few of those red asterisks denoting the 7-inning games, part of these doubleheaders. Lots of makeup games this year, of course, with the pandemic stuff. Right below that, I think I've got Tigers at Twins, game two. Twins took game one a little bit earlier, and I will back the Tigers, and the under might be at 7.5 for game two, maybe something like that. So I'll take the Tigers at some plus money, and the under there. I'm glancing at my notes in front of me, forgive me. Marlins at Rays, talked about this on the earlier video. This is a formal pick. I'm going to back the Tampa Bay Rays to beat the Marlins. I think it'll be 5 in a row. Marlins do have their guy going, Pablo Lopez. He's tough, but I'm going to take the Rays at home. One of the best teams in Major League Baseball, and I will take the over. I think I circled over 7.5. Pirates at Reds, game two. Game one, I believe, in progress. This 7-inning game, I'm going to take the under 6, respecting Trevor Bauer. At the same time, I'm going to take a shot with the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have been a little bit more respectable recently. I'm going to take them on the run line, the plus 1.5. I think it's at minus 130 or so, to at least keep it kind of close. Nationals at Braves, game two, and I think game one is in progress. I'll back the Braves in game two on the run line. I'm going to try not to back too many heavy favorites, a little bit cleaner for kind of the accounting or the unit management, if you will. So the Braves at minus 1.5 in this 7-inning game, I think it's at minus 105 or so. And I'll say under 8 there in Atlanta. Brewers at Indians, I'm trying to find places to embrace the Brewers because I like them. It's getting tougher and tougher, but hey, why not on a Pick 'em All Friday? I'll back the Brewers as a dog going into Cleveland and surprising a little bit. Plus 132, I think it's at. I actually think it should pay more, but maybe that tells me they've got a decent chance of taking this game. Over 8, I'm going to say on that total there in Cleveland. Phillies at Mets is kind of a fun game. Both teams are really hot. Bryce Harper called this hot streak for his Phillies. He said they had to go 9-1 in the next 10, and that was 10 games ago, and they certainly have gone 9-1 to get themselves in the mix. On the other side, the Mets have gotten pretty hot. They had a couple exciting wins against the Yankees there in the Subway Series. Pete Alonso finally showing some power. So I'm going to go ahead and back the Mets behind Rick Porcello, who hasn't been real sharp this year. For the Phillies, Jake Arrieta goes. Kind of the same thing, also a veteran right-hander who hasn't been particularly sharp, and for those reasons, I'm going to say over 10. I'm going to back the Mets at a modest minus 132, maybe something like that, and over 10 behind Pete Alonso. Maybe Conforto does something and gets out of the yard to send that game over. Red Sox at Blue Jays, game one is in progress. This is game two we're talking about, a 7-inning game. I like Ross Stripling in his debut for the Blue Jays. At this point, I think it's just look to bet against the Red Sox just about every day, unless you see some spot where it makes sense. But Red Sox are a bad club. Took me a while to come to terms with that. But and I think Ross Stripling is a pretty good pitcher. The right-hander veteran came over from the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays are in the mix for the playoffs. I see it at minus 128. I might have said Red Sox at Blue Jays. I meant to say Blue Jays at Red Sox in game two. I'm going to say Blue Jays at the minus 128. I'm kind of kicking myself for not making that a formal play. I may post another video with a little more insight and a little more seriousness backing the Blue Jays at the minus 128 number. And I'll say over 8.5. I think you can get even money, 100 to get back 100. Keeping in mind, of course, it's only a 7-inning game there. Mazza goes for the Red Sox, does not have good numbers. That's kind of my thinking there. And the Red Sox bullpen just really simply awful this whole season. And then Yankees at Orioles game 2, going back to Camden Yards. Took the Orioles in game 1, which I think is in progress. Sort of full disclosure here. I'll back the Yankees -1.5 on the run line, probably -110 or so. And I'll say over 7.5. Next game, as I get my bearings, quick segue. My brother is playing Cal Club up there, Northern California. My brother's a heck of a player, so it's nice to see him get out there. Waiting to hear from him on his score. Hope he's got those short irons working. He's usually pretty good off the tee, and we'll see about the flat stick. But great guy of the day, my brother. Catch him at Roberts Market up there in Woodside, California. If you get a chance, you'll be happy you did. Getting back to the games, White Sox at Royals. I'll take the White Sox on the run line. The White Sox, they kick ass. Luis Robert is a badass hitter. Hadn't even heard of him a month ago or so. I'll back the White Sox to do it again against the Royals. I'll say White Sox -1.5, and I'll say over 9 there in Kansas City. That is a regulation 9-inning game as far as I can tell. Cards at Cubs. Cardinals are hot. They scored a bunch of runs recently. The Cubs are favored -140 there at Wrigley Field in this big rivalry, game 1 here. Yu Darvish goes for the Cubs, a Cy Young candidate. You can't say otherwise at this point, I don't think. Maybe him and Max Fried in Atlanta. Got to be a couple of the front runners. He's been quite sharp. The Cardinals throw John Flaherty, who is their ace. So both teams have their stoppers out. The -140 figure, I think, is a little bit more expensive than I anticipated, but the Cubs are hot as well. I will back the Cubs on a pick 'em all Friday at that -140 figure behind Darvish. And I'll take the under 8, considering that both pitchers are quite good. I don't know about the wind blowing in or out. That's always the thing at Wrigley Field. I keep touching this piece of paper, which is making a loud noise, probably. I'm sorry. Astros at Angels. Man, we've talked about the Angels a bunch of times. I don't know if their emphasis is on winning, but I'll pick a spot here. They did win yesterday behind a really nice performance from Andrew Heaney against the Padres. I'll take the Angels behind Dylan Bundy, who is supposed to be their ace. He's been good for the most part this year, the veteran right-hander who came over from the Orioles. You can get the Angels pretty close to even money to win this game. I always look for places to back the Angels, and Lance McCullers goes for the Astros, he was better last time out. He hasn't been great this year on the road in particular, but I'll say under 8.5. Considering that Bundy has been pretty good, and the Astros seem to have transformed their style a little bit to lower scoring games. I think they're still without Bregman, which is a pretty big loss in that lineup. So I'll say Angels and under 8.5 there in Anaheim. Rangers at Mariners. You got to like baseball a lot to care about this game, or be a Seattle person, or something. But Kikuchi goes for the Mariners. He's pretty good. -125 Mariners. I'll back the Mariners for a pick 'em all Friday in a not many people care about this game. They're at -125. Maybe I just said that. Over 8.5 is the total. Just for fun, I'll say over 8.5. Rockies at Dodgers. The Rockies, we've talked about them, big disappointment. I've backed them too many times than I care to admit on a video. But they've had their struggles. They did make a big comeback. They mounted a big comeback against the Giants there in Colorado, I think, to finish that series. Scored a bunch of runs, finally. Rockies +215. I'm going to have some fun and back the Rockies behind Antonio Senzatella, who is emerging as maybe their de facto ace. Dodgers, Dustin May. He's a badass. Every Dodgers pitcher is a badass. But maybe this is the spot where they finally give one back. They got to lose somewhere. I'll take the Rockies +215. It's a heavy payout. Why not? And I'll say under 9 because both pitchers are pretty damn good. Padres at A's. We talked about this on the video earlier as more of a formal play. I'll back the Padres as a dog at the A's. More analysis in the earlier video. But important to note here, the A's are on kind of an unwanted or unexpected hiatus due to the pandemic protocols. I think 5 days off, and Luzardo is a badass pitcher for the A's, the big left-hander, but also something like 10 days off for him, considering that pandemic protocol break. So I'll take the Padres, and I'll say over 8.5 behind their big bats. They were quieted yesterday by the Angels, so how about a bounce back there in the Bay Area? Diamondbacks at Giants across that other bridge or something. They're at the Giants Stadium, maybe it's called AT&T Park, hosting the Diamondbacks. I think this is game one. Diamondbacks lost Starling Marte through an acquisition by the Marlins. Talked about that earlier. They already were bad, and they've essentially given up. The Giants, on the other side, are ascending. I think Kapler's got them playing with confidence, and they appear to be a playoff team in the expanded playoff format. So I'll take the Giants, also mentioned in the earlier video as a more formal pick. More analysis there, but I'll back the Giants at -132. Pretty modest number, pretty decent deal, I think, there. And I'll take the over 8.5 behind guys like Yastrzemski and Brandon Belt to maybe show some power, as they have been doing quite a bit there in San Francisco. Okay, guys, that is going to do it for the pick most of them Friday. And Better Off Dead, 11-minute video. Sorry for the length, but lots of games to get through. NBA tonight. Lakers go tonight. Maybe have a video on that a little bit later. Thanks so much again. Better Off Dead. Talk to you soon.